Okay? I don't have time for it. I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. I'm going to date whoever I want to date, whether it be white, black, blue, Indian, Chinese, fucking made up race for all I give a damn.
You are still roaming around this fucking earth talking about, oh, I'm not gonna date you because you're black. So my automatic assumption of you being a black woman is that you're ghetto. So should my assumption of you being an African American man, should of you be that you're fucking in a gang?
This goddamn dickhead.
That's some fuck shit. So, okay. I was trying to figure out why Nick Cannon was doing all these crazy ass interviews and why he's walking around with leopard print looking ass hair, like just looking crazy and shit on interviews. And apparently he has a new album coming out entitled White People Music. So he has a picture on his Instagram. I don't know if you guys seen it. I'll probably do a better photo of it for you guys. That way you guys can see it a little bit better on here. And the caption of the photo is, "It's official. I'm white. Hashtag white people party music. Hashtag WPPM in stores April 1st. So I guess it's in stores right now. Dude, go get it. Join the party. Hashtag go credit. Da, 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 da. He has a name for himself. And I can't remember what the name is. But it's some weird ass name. Let me see if I can find it.
Connor Small, that's the name, bro.
There you go. So not only did he do whiteface, but he decided to name himself Connor Smallnut. Now, here's been the topic of discussion. Blackface versus whiteface. Are they the same? Are they different? Are there stereotypes or fucking stigmas or even what would you call it? Double standards to where it's okay to do whiteface, but it's not okay to do blackface. Right. In his basic defense, he's saying that there's a difference between humor and there's a difference between actual
ignorance,
hatred.
Yeah.
In his particular case, he's saying that he's doing it to be funny.
But somebody might take that personal.
My main thing is, I get it, you're doing it to be funny, but I'm sure that the girl from Orange is the New Black, when she came out in blackface on Halloween, I'm sure she did not mean anything disrespectful by that, but it got to the point where she had to go and apologize because people were really upset about it. And this is my thing, you know, there are a lot of African Americans and just people in general that are very, very accepting of things like whiteface, but when it comes to things like blackface, we're very, very upset about it. And I quite frankly don't really give a fuck either way because you're not fucking bothering me. No. Even if it's all some racial ass shit, that just means that you have an issue. I don't fucking have an issue. That's your fucking problem. However, at the end of the damn day, if you know good and well that blackface is going to be offensive to some people, you can't be surprised when
whiteface is offensive too.
Exactly. And then people think it's a double standard. Yeah. It's like, okay, so you can do this to be funny.
But I can't do it?
I can't do the shit for fucking Halloween, bitch?
I just don't understand why there's a black-white thing still. Anyways, like, who still does that? Why did we go through that many years of bullshit to make everybody the same, to make everybody equal, just to go back and do the black-white thing again?
The double standard thing. Because, you know, with white people, they're going to be considered racist. Black people are going to be considered ghetto.
I wonder, like, how does he feel like... Nick Cannon has a real good look going for himself right now. You know what I mean? As far as business. Why would he even step outside? Like, what is that?
According to Nick Cannon, he says in his defense, on terms of him doing the album White People Party Music and him doing whiteface, he goes, "I'm not going to apologize. I stand firm in my beliefs and I want to challenge society. I'm glad we're having this conversation. People are calling me a marketing genius."
I can see why people would say that though. But I think it's stupid. But I can see why other people would say that that's marketing genius kind of move.
I think I was just a lucky person to press the controversy button that week. And it was a slow news day. But I love it because as a comedian, and also like the great humor to controversy. He also says people are ultra sensitive.
That's crazy because in comedy you can kind of just do what you want.
But this is the thing. That kind of goes back to what we were saying last week with Wendy Williams. You can't just say it's just Wendy, and you can't just say it's just funny. If people are offended by it, they're offended by it. Yeah. So, you know, and I feel like you have to take responsibility for that sometimes, at least when it comes to racial things. When it comes to things like opinions okay. But when it comes to things like being racial, like doing whiteface, and if it's gotten to the point where you've offended people, because in turn, yes, you're being funny, but in other turn, you might have some people being like, well, is this what the fuck you really think that we look like as white people? Because clearly this is your imitation of somebody. You seen something and you felt like this is what the fuck you wanted to imitate.
Mimic.
Exactly. Yeah, so this is what you feel, and yeah, you might find it funny, but they might not find it funny. Just like with blackface, they may find it funny or they may find it okay, but an African American may not find it okay. No. So it's like, yes, you may not mean any harm by it, but you can't be surprised when people want to go off on you and be like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? That you look crazy. Why would you even do that? And then let alone do an album called White People Party Music. That just seems crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. He is a marketing genius for this shit. I'm not really sure if I'm going to care enough to buy the album, though.
We all know.
So I'm not really sure if it's that much of a marketing that much of a marketing genius, to be quite frank, shall I say.
He makes horrible music.
I honestly want him to go back to acting.
I honestly just want him to sit the fuck down somewhere. Just sit down.
But I liked him in Drumline.
I did too, but then he stepped out with this leopard hair and it fucked me up.
That shit was crazy.
That looked
and
crazy.
Then went on Good Morning American like that girl. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
but definitely post your thoughts below on what you think about Nick Cannon doing whiteface. Do you think that there's a difference between whiteface and blackface? And do you really care? Like, do you really think it makes that much of a difference to where it's like, I personally don't care, but maybe society cares? And like you said, yeah, society can be a little bit ultra sensitive, but you know what? That's that particular person's prerogative. So, what do you think?
So,
last topic of the day.
Now that we're on the whole black, white shenanigans
for this shit. Hold on.
And all that. I don't know if you've seen our Juice Girl rant video, which is uploaded, so go take a look at that, where we posted our reaction to the Is That Your Thought video by 2 Chainz, where Miss Tina, all the fuck shit, all the fuckery. Somebody decides to ask, would this happen pretty much if the woman was white? Would that say this thing wouldn't have probably happened? He goes on to say that black men hate black women.
And all black men actually hate black women. And that they actually want to be with white women. And my main thing was, okay, maybe that's true for some black men, but it really bothers me when you do general statements. I hate general statements. You cannot say all women, all men, all blacks, all whites, all Mexicans, all Latinos, all Filipinos, all Chinese, all Koreans, all humans, all anything. You cannot say all of anything because, my thing is, even if it's 99.9%, you still have a percentage
out there.
To where you can't fucking generalize that shit. So I found it really funny that one, the person that left that fucking comment didn't have a goddamn photo. And two, somebody that fucking decided to reply to this comment was actually looking a little black in his photo.
And he decides to, first of all, pretty much calling basic ignorant.
But then calls me a bitch.
Which is obviously still ignorant. Then goes on later after he was gathered multiple times by myself and her to apologize because, first of all, we can speak our opinion all we want to, okay? Second of all, we don't do black-white, okay? We do not see people as color. I was raised that you don't bring home a white woman. That's how I was raised. But as I got older, I'm just like, you know what? People are people. You can't control what nobody else has going. You can't control what nobody else does. You know what I mean? Sometimes I do hear black men downgrade and degrade black women. But I also hear white men degrade white women. Call them sluts and whores and all kind of stuff. So it really just all goes hand in hand.
Have you not watched Jerry Springer?
And that's full of white people.
Don't get me wrong, we have our black people on there, but shit, for the most part, we don't go on that goddamn show.
It's just all about the way you carry yourself. Okay? If that was a white woman back there, had she carried herself the same way Miss Tina did, she would have got done the same exact way. What are you doing back here? Bye, girl. You have no idea why you should be back here. You're just looking around and looking crazy. Okay?
And it's not like she was the only girl back there. It would be different if she was literally the only chick back there. There were multiple people back there. She just happened to have no business being back there.
Yeah, I was over that.
Trying to get through the line some way, somehow, to the point where they were like, "You're who? You're related to who?
Right.
Don't nobody know you? Oh, bitch."
Well, she wasn't related to anyone, but
well, that's what I'm saying. They thought she was related to someone.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
they found out that she wasn't related to anyone, that she only knew Cap. But then they found out that she only knew Cap because she followed him on Instagram.
That's pathetic.
So, my main thing is, this isn't even necessarily a rant, except for, I don't even know that dude's name. That light-skinned dude that has the buck teeth, and I guess everybody's, like, always reposting his shit on fucking Instagram and Facebook.
I forgot his name, too.
I never actually took the time to watch any of his videos. I never took the time
We
to
all
actually
know the one that
repost
sings hella
his
crazy.
memes. I didn't take the time to do any of that shit. But the reason why I'm actually happy that I didn't do it is because apparently I never looked up his Instagram, but I seen a screenshot of him, and I'll probably try to post a screenshot up in here. But he's like, "I'm sorry, I don't date black women. 99% of them are ghetto, and the other are baby mamas."
You know who else said some just off-brand shit like that? A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, he always says offset shit like that. Like,
He
he was like,
says some
"Oh,
off-brand shit like
dark-skinned
that, too."
girls can't wear red lipstick."
Why? Like, why can't people just be who they are and who they want to be? Like, why do we have
Purple
to sit
looks
around
stupid on
and
people.
look a certain way or act a certain way or do our hair a certain way just because of the color of our skin? That is pathetic to me. Okay? I don't have time for it. I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. I'm going to date whoever I want to date, whether it be white, black, blue, Indian, Chinese, fucking made up race, for all I give a damn.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
And it's really sad that in this day and age, you are still roaming around this fucking earth talking about, "Oh, I'm not going to date you because you're black." So my automatic assumption of you being a black woman is that you're ghetto. So should my automatic assumption of you being an African American man or black male, whichever you want to say it, because some people don't like going by black, some people don't like going by African American, our people are weird, whatever. Should my automatic assumption of you be that you're fucking in a gang?
Yeah.
That you're a fucking deadbeat? That you're fucking broke? Should that be my automatic assumption? Should my automatic assumption be that you're hella ratchet, you don't know how to act when you go into public, you're yelling, you're fighting, you're doing all this kind of crazy ass shit, so now I don't want to date an African American man? No. I just won't date somebody like that.
The craziest shit I hear is, I want to have my baby by a certain race so my baby can look a certain way.
So my baby can have good hair.
What? That means you're just going to have a baby just by anybody because of what they look like?
Okay. And then when that baby grows up and then they don't grow up the way that you want to grow up. The funny thing is, motherfuckers be like, "Oh, I want to have a light-skinned baby, so I'm going to have a baby with a white woman or an Asian woman or a Latina woman." But sometimes...
I always hear Mexican or Asian.
Either hoodles. Sometimes when you have these babies, they don't always come out in that split complexion. You can have a baby with a white woman and a black man, and that motherfucker can still come out my skin tone. I know a guy that's half black, half white, and he's still as dark as me.
I know a person that has a kid that's half black, half white. That baby turned out looking white as fuck.
Like, you never know what the fuck's going to happen.
No.
Sometimes they look hella white. Sometimes they'll be extremely dark skinned. Sometimes they'll be the middle complexion. Sometimes they'll have good hair. Sometimes they'll have bad hair. Sometimes they'll get your traits. Sometimes they'll get their traits. And I just find it really, really funny when people are like, "Oh, I want a baby that looks like this. I want them to have this kind of hair. I want them to have this skin tone." You don't know what the fuck you're going to get, and you better be happy that God even blessed you with a child.
Baby in the first place.
And you didn't have that baby in your fallopian tubes, bitch.
That's too bad.
Speaking of fallopian tubes, girl, did you watch Black Ink? No. Girl.
I always catch snippets of that
For
show.
those of you that do watch Black Ink, were you or were you not shocked to find out that Duchess was pregnant last season? And then had a miscarriage because her baby was stuck in her fallopian tubes. And because she had a heart murmur, at least I believe it was because of her heart murmur, it was to the point of if she would have kept the baby and it wouldn't have been in her fallopian tubes, it still would have been a matter of either her dying or
the baby dying.
Both.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like either a both or her type of thing. And so when she did lose the baby, apparently Caesar was kind of like, you know, you knew this shit was going to happen. And she was very emotional about it. And his main thing was, I would rather have you here than have to take care of this baby and your ass be dead because you want to have a baby so goddamn bad. His main thing was, you know, if it's worth it, it's going to happen. And her thing was, well, you just weren't supportive. And I can definitely understand both parts, but I'm wondering if Caesar might not be as nice as we potentially think he is. Maybe he's not as caring. Who knows? Post your thoughts below if you watch Black Ink. Bringing it back to where the fuck we were. Essentially, all we're saying is, you know, if you're going to say that you don't like to date black women, white women, Asian women, Latino women, any type of woman, Native American, East Indian, whatever, speak for yourself.
Really. Yeah, and post your thoughts below about what you would do if someone said to you that they don't date or they don't have children by someone in a certain race. Because to me, that just sounds fucking crazy.
Sounds hella crazy. Some dude was like, they'll have children by the black women, but they won't marry them. I know Beyonce is Beyonce, but Jay-Z still married her. That's all I'm saying.
She look black to me.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I know
Jada Pinkett Smith. I know she's black.
I know Michelle Obama is black. Ooh. Decided to name himself Connor Smallnut. Now, here's been the topic of discussion. Blackface versus whiteface. Are they the same? Are they different? Are there stereotypes or fucking stigmas or even what would you call it? Double standards to where it's okay to do whiteface, but it's not okay to do blackface. Right. In his basic defense, he's saying that there's a difference between humor and there's a difference between actual hatred. Yeah. In his particular case, he's saying that he's doing it to be funny. But
somebody might take that personal.
My main thing is, I get it, you're doing it to be funny, but I'm sure that the girl from Orange is the New Black, when she came out in blackface on Halloween, I'm sure she did not mean anything disrespectful by that, but it got to the point where she had to go and apologize because people were really upset about it. And this is my thing, you know, there are a lot of African Americans and just people in...
Yep. She just jealous of me. This goddamn dickhead.
That's some fuck shit. So, okay, I was trying to figure out why Nick Cannon was doing all these crazy ass interviews and why he's walking around with leopard print looking ass hair. Like, just looking crazy and shit on interviews. And apparently he has a new album coming out entitled White People Music. So he has a picture on his Instagram. I don't know if you guys seen it. I'll probably do a better photo of it for you guys. That way you guys can see it a little bit better on here.
Okay? I don't have time for it. I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. I'm going to date whoever I want to date. Whether it be white, black, blue, Indian, Chinese, fucking made up race for all I give a damn.
You are still roaming around this fucking earth talking about, oh, I'm not gonna date you because you're black. So my automatic assumption of you being a black woman is that you're ghetto. So should my assumption of you being an African American man, should you be that you're fucking in a gang? Here. And the caption of the photo is, "It's official. I'm white. Hashtag white people party music. Hashtag WPPM in stores April 1st." So I guess it's in stores right now. Dude, go get it. Join the party. Hashtag go credit. Da, 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 da. He has a name for himself. And I can't remember what the name is, but it's some weird ass name. Let me see if I can find it.
Connor Small, that's the name, bro.
There you go. So, not only did he do whiteface, but he